one of the absolutely worst things I've ever seen in my life, really. And probably a clear indication of perhaps the worst person to work for ever was this PM personal manager who posted something on Reddit. Now, full disclosure, I don't even know I don't know the details of this individual. I don't know who he or she is. I'm assuming by reading the text it was a woman, although this is unclear. It could be a man as well, but it was worded in such a feminine and careful manner with very, very emotional language. So clearly it was either a woman or it was some sort of a man who's very, very emotional. Now, let's get right to it. This individual writes about one of their employees who logs too many hours. And this PM wants to know, how do I address the issue with the employee in question? And first of all, this is so simple. Let's let's get a couple of things straight first. Number one, if I'm logging more hours than what I'm supposed to, or that's required of me, or that's expected of my work, or that's expected of my work tasks, the intention is pretty clear. Do I get paid more by logging more hours? Yes, I do. Because let's think about this, or think about excuse me. Let's think about the following as well. If I got paid the same, irrespective of working 40 hours or 60 hours a week, do you think I'd really care logging more hours? Of course not, if it wouldn't affect my pay. So clearly there is monetary motivation for logging more hours. Because what's the real issue here? The real issue is, of course, that the guy or gal in question who logs these extra hours feel that he or she doesn't get enough paid, or doesn't get compensated enough. They want more money. They want to be reimbursed better. They're dissatisfied with their pay. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. Now, why do most people work? Well, I mean, come on here. Let's be real. Most people work, or nearly all people work, because they want to make more money. Why do so many people take part in politics? This is just me taking a random guess, but I'm assuming, and yes, these are just assumptions. These are not facts, and this isn't rooted in any sort of evidence. This is just my assumption, and what I surmise to be true is most of these politicians get very, very beneficial tax deals. They also get a lot of money under the table. They get access to rooms where deals are made that are denied most regular people. And they're getting other perks and benefits as well, all for just showing their face and name, or for showing their face in the media, getting their name slandered in various news outlets, and getting people talk shit about them for a given amount of time. After that, they disappear mysteriously. Here's an example. And by the way, I'm not suggesting, I'm not alleging anything here. I'm just suggesting that this is true for a lot of politicians. But what happened to the former Chancellor of Germany, who for long ruled Germany and did a lot of stuff that was thought of as being very, very controversial? There's a lot of people who had problems with the way that the former Chancellor of Germany ran their country. So I lost my train of thoughts. No, and here's my point. When she was, Angela Merkel, by the way, that's her name, when she was running her country, people were writing daily news articles about her. She was in the news all the time, constantly. Now, forgotten. Nobody really cares. She's probably retired. She's probably living a happy life. Now, I'm not suggesting one thing or the other with respect to Angela Merkel. I'm just suggesting and surmising that in general, a lot of politicians receive access to deals and perks and benefits that are denied most people. Read between the lines and think about it. And so, in that regard, most people, when they work, when they log hours, they do it to make more money. It's pretty simple. So if I work and I log more hours, it is because I want to get better paid. So the motivation is, of course, monetary. So instead of asking about what should I do with this situation, how would you address this situation with the employee in question, the manager, of course, should ask themselves, or themselves rather, what's the real issue here? What are we really trying to do here? Well, the issue is, of course, I feel like I'm not getting compensated enough. So that's why I should get more money. I should make more money. It's not rocket science exactly. It's not at all rocket science. It's pretty straightforward. So then you go and you ask the employee. You lay it out. Look, sir, you're logging more hours than what we expect of you. What's the reason? In order for me to justify these hours, or in order for me to approve these hours, you need to tell me exactly what you did. And boom, there you go. I did this. I don't know. I kind of forgot it. It was a little of this. It was a little of that. Then you know it's horseshit. But if the guy says, on Monday I worked 2 extra hours because I needed to file the report that you requested by Tuesday morning. On Tuesday I logged 3 extra hours because I needed to write yet another report and the minutes of a meeting that you requested me to write, and you need the minutes really, really fast. And also there was an issue because Gerald in sales hadn't followed up on his leads, and he asked me to ring him back, and then I needed to process all the information, and he needed to take notes, and I needed to find out how we best could support that lead so that we didn't lose them, and so on and so forth. So if this person actually can justify the work hours, you know that they've been working correctly. But deep down is the monetary question. So the real question, of course, is, and this is where the persuasion lesson kicks in, is how much more money do you want? That's the real persuasion lesson right here. How much more money do you want? Why did you log these hours? Well, you logged them because you wanted more money. So could we fix that by increasing your pay, by getting some sort of bonus incentive? Do you want to get better paid? Do you want anything? Can you justify the increased work rate? Can you meet these requirements? Can we ask this of you in order for you to get better paid? And so on and so forth. Basically, the beating around the bush of trying to subvert the real issue here, which is pay, is so dumb and it's so nonsensical. And this is why this PM must be a living nightmare to work for. Sweeping everything under the rug, assuming that people really want to work for free. Hey, can you come in and do extra hours on Sunday or on Saturday? Just because we need you. Hey, can you work late on Monday? And then assume that people actually want to work for free, when that's really not the case. I'm just looking around because I thought I heard a noise, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, point being, if you're a manager, if you're someone's boss, if you're in charge of the finances and of logging and of approving hours and so on, you know that when they start to log extra hours, there's always the monetary motivation behind. So instead of just talking about nonsense and bullshit that nobody really cares about, you go right to the issue. You're logging more hours because you want to get better paid. Let's talk about that right here, right now. Let's lay out the ladder for you to make more money. That should be fair and square. It ain't worse than that. And that's the real motivation, and also the real persuasion here. Because then you lay out the carrot. Then you give them a carrot. You don't use the stick, you use a carrot. And you use that to create a vision in their minds. That's what real persuasion is about in this case. If you want to learn more about persuasion and energy and sales, get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you are watching and or listening to this. And I'll see you there. Bye bye.